Hi, my friends. Hello. Good morning. Today, we're talking about my top 10 healthy aging weight loss tips. So you are not going to want to miss this because this is not a fad diet. This is a lifestyle change, but they are 10 hacks that will really get you to your healthy weight. I'm going to let you guys start joining in. And I'm doing like a dual kind of live here. I'm doing a YouTube live at the same time that I'm doing an Instagram live. Well, I'm recording it for YouTube. So this will be posted on YouTube as well. If you guys have not checked out my YouTube channel, make sure you do that. There's over 140 videos, everything from skincare, diet, exercise routines. There's procedures. Like I film everything that I've done. Oh my God, it's so nice to see people that come back every week. I'm telling you, it just brings me so much joy. So I'm so glad to see you. Hi, Dimple Queen. Hi, everybody. It is Sunday at 11, and you guys know what that means. It is Instagram Live, and it is all about healthy aging. So the title of this is Weight Loss Tips. Hi, Romanian Girl 10. Hi, everybody. I'm going to wait until the winner of last week's grounding mat actually gets on here before I tell you who won. Let me make sure she's not on here already. No, because last time I gave the winner right when they got on, and so I'm going to wait till I see her. Hopefully she'll join. If not, I'll let you guys know. But last week, sorry, I have a little bit of a sniffle. Last week was, I did that whole live on grounding at my mom's house. I was sitting in the grass. It is a giant healthy aging hack that decreases your cortisol in your bloodstream, decreases your stress, decreases inflammation. There's a lot going on. So if you missed that live, I always post the lives to the feed, but I want you guys on here. I really do. It really helps me and brings me joy to be teaching you guys like in real time. So I love that. I appreciate you guys. I see you guys all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So we're going to start. Oh my gosh. The weight loss industry, you guys, it's so fucked up. It really is. I mean, just to start off, it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And I'm talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. And if it worked, if all the Jenny Craigs and the Weight Watchers of the world actually worked, they would all go out of business because we'd only have to go once and we would all be skinny. So we know that those kind of systems don't work long term. They just don't. So what do we do when it comes to dieting? Well, first of all, don't diet. I think throw that concept right out of the window because there's not a diet on earth that actually works. It doesn't work long term. You can't starve yourself or deprive yourself of stuff that you enjoy and you love to eat and think that that's going to stick. It has to be lifestyle changes. And we all come in different shapes and sizes, right? So what is a healthy weight for me might not be a healthy weight for you. You don't need to it's not about comparing the number on the scale. It's about how do you feel in your clothes, right? If you really thought about it, what is the weight that you feel the healthiest, that you feel your body performs the best? That's the weight we're striving for. And that's the weight that's going to help you expand that health span, right? So we don't want to just increase the number of years on the planet, which is our lifespan. We want to increase the number of healthy years on the planet, and that's increasing our health span. And so, yes, I appreciate you guys coming here when we talk about skincare because our skin is the largest organ. You can tell a lot about somebody's health through their skin, right? And that's coming from the inside. We also do that outside stuff. Which is the fun stuff. But, we want to take care of this organ as well. And looking good on the outside changes what you do in that day. So anybody who's ever had a bad hair day or has regretted some little procedure that they've done or they've got a big pimple on their face, you know what I'm talking about. When you don't like what you look like on the outside, it changes your day. So we want to feel good about what we look like, and we also want to be the healthiest we can so that we're expanding that health span. So I'm going to get right into it. I have 10 healthy weight hacks that are going to change the way that you look at diet, because we're not going to diet. These are lifestyle hacks. And the first one, my top one that I always put all of my clients on, is intermittent fasting. And for those of you who followed me on my stories, you know that I just got done with the 5-day fast. This was the Prolon 5-day fast. It's a meal kit that gives you 5 days where your body, it's like 500 calories a day. So it's very strategic in what you're eating, and it helps you. So I've lost almost 6 pounds. In 5 days, I lost 6 pounds. So I haven't been able to put these jeans on for a while. So at 50, almost 55, this is something that helps your body to live longer. So we're not designed to go long periods of time. We are designed to go long periods of time without eating. We're not designed to be able to open up a refrigerator and grab something to eat, right? We're not designed to have processed food at our beck and call. And if you go down any grocery store, down the cereal aisle, that's not real food, right? We're not supposed to open up a box. Okay, the winner of the grounding mat just joined us, Sophia Spallino. Woo! Your life is going to change because yes, the grounding mat. So if you don't live in an area where you can get outside and get your shoes on, they make grounding mats that ground to the earth, just like our appliances are ground to the earth. But you don't want to hang on to an appliance all day. But there's grounding mats that you can use, that you can step on, that help to reduce that stress. And we're using the power of the earth to decrease the cortisol levels. Hi, Gina. Gina just joined. Sophia says, I've been managing lupus symptoms and I know this will help. It absolutely will. It absolutely will. It decreases, go back and watch that live if you missed that live on grounding, because that is the cheapest health hack you're going to get. It's going to keep you on the planet longer and healthier longer. So simple. Walk outside without your shoes. So go and watch that live. But now we're talking about, congratulations, Sophia. I'm so happy for you. I'll get your address. I'll stick that in the mail. So we're back to, oh, that's so nice. Okay, so we're back to the weight loss tips. This is these are healthy aging weight loss hacks. So the first one, as I was saying, is intermittent fasting. We're not supposed to be able to open up a refrigerator or open up a pantry, for God's sake, and grab food anytime that we want it. That's not, from an evolutionary standpoint, that's not how our bodies are designed. We're designed to go vast periods of time without eating. And there's a reason for that. And there's a benefit to that. And it's called autophagy. So what happens is when we are in times of deprivation, not only will our white blood cells get rid of all of that damaged cells, so it gives them time, it gives our body time to get rid of all of that cellular debris, which accumulates in our body and which leads to several different age-related diseases. So giving our body time without food is actually beneficial. So if you did nothing else, change the timing of your eating and you're going to lose weight. So if you're somebody that wakes up and opens up a box of cereal, if you stepped away from that and didn't eat breakfast, we're looking at a time, the optimal time is actually a 16-hour fast. And I know that seems like a lot, but it's really not. So if you stopped eating your last meal at like 7, let's say 8. If you stopped eating your last meal at 8 p.m., if you go to 8 a.m., that's a 12-hour fast. So if you go to noon, you're at a 16-hour fast. And what that does is it helps your body reach into its own fat cells, right? We want to create fat cells that are active. And if you're continually adding glucose to your bloodstream, which is basically what all, that's our source of energy. If you're continuing to eat on a regular basis and you always have this energy source in your bloodstream, you're not going to reach into your fat cells. So I've been doing intermittent fasting on a 16-8 schedule, which is 16 hours of fast. I basically just skip breakfast, and an 8-hour window of eating. So my 8-hour window of eating for me is 1 to 9. So if I can finish anything that I'm going to consume at night at 9 p.m., and that means any snacks or popcorn or whatever else that I'll eat in front of the TV as we're watching a little show or something. If I stop my last, consumption of calories at 9 p.m. and then I don't eat until noon, I'm in a 16-hour fast. And I've been doing that 16-hour fast probably for 30, I'm almost 55, so I'm going to say 30 plus years. 30 plus years. And the interesting thing is there's a lot of people that say I have to eat something before I exercise. If you exercise in the morning and you're exercising on an empty stomach, guess where you're getting your energy from? Your fat cells. You're utilizing your fat cells. So we want to create fat cells that empty to give us energy and fill back up when we're eating, right? We want to empty to give us energy and fill back up. So we're creating these fat cells that are very active as opposed to fat cells that continue to just sit there and grow and get lazy, right? We're not utilizing those. We're only utilizing those if we're really, we're sick or something and we're really not eating. You'll reach into your fat cells. But why not do that every day? Why not create these fat cells that we can use? Now, the weight loss industry, I kid you not, it's just not friendly. It's not trying to help us to be healthy. And so there's now all of these things where you want those fad diets where you want your body in a state of ketosis. And to do that, you need to drink this coffee and you need to drink this oil and you need to eat fat. You don't. You don't want to utilize the fat that you're consuming. You want to utilize the fat around your midsection. You want to utilize the fat on your ass and on your thighs. You want to utilize the fat that you already have stored in your body. And that is the natural way that your body will be in a state of ketosis, right? Yes, Vonnie Banks said intermittent fasting. Yes, intermittent fasting. For those of you guys that are just joining, we're talking about my number one weight loss tip for people over 40, well, anybody, is to do intermittent fasting. And the way to do that, there's two ways to do it. There's a 5-2 schedule, which is 5 days of eating your normal diet and 2 non-consecutive days of eating a very restricted calorie intake. I don't agree with that. I think that makes you count your calories. I feel that makes you obsess about food. I've been doing the 16-8 fast for 30 plus years. And what that means is I basically just don't have breakfast. And that means coffee with milk. If you have milk, if you got a little sugar, if you have anything in your coffee or tea, you're not doing a 16-hour fast. So a lot of people won't eat breakfast, but they'll have coffee, they'll have a latte or whatever. You're going to utilize the energy from that drink as energy as opposed to reaching into your fat cells. So the times, so I basically skip breakfast. I feel that is the easiest way to do it. This whole breakfast is the most important meal of the day, is marketing by these gigantic companies. And if you go down any grocery store, you'll see the 2 aisles, or at least the whole giant aisle of nothing but breakfast foods, right? So who says breakfast is the most important meal of the day? It's not real scientists. It's not people that are looking at how does your body actually metabolize in the most efficient, healthy way, and how are you going to live longer? Those people, like my professors at USC, who came up with this Prolon fast mimicking diet, those are the people that really understand what your body is supposed to do. And we're not designed, like I said earlier, we're not designed to have food at our beck and call. That's not, from an anthropological point of view, what our bodies are made for. We're made to go a long time without food. So if you do nothing else, if you don't want to change what you're eating, just change the timing that you're eating so that you have, it could be from a 12 to a 16-hour fast with an 8-hour window of eating. So my 8-hour window is 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Maybe yours would be 12 to 8. Whatever it's going to be, that's your window. And that's what I try to get all of my clients on. The first thing, if somebody wants to lose weight, I always look at what's the timing that you're eating before what are you eating. So that's my number one, intermittent fasting. I have a little bit of a runny nose, so I apologize. Sniffle. Okay, so I did do a YouTube video on that. So after this whole thing, if you guys can go to my YouTube channel, which is on my link tree and my bio, you can check out that video. It explains intermittent fasting a lot more and what the benefits are of that. So if you're just joining, we're going to have a giveaway this week. I'm not going to tell you what the giveaway is yet, but your first task to doing that is that you invite 3 people. Sophia, I just saw that you invited your 3 people. So you've done the first step of being in the drawing. Once I post this to my main feed, you invite 3 more people or you tag 3 people and your name goes into the drawing. Sophia says, love your YouTube, so many helpful videos. Thank you so much, Sophia. There's over 140 videos on my YouTube channel, and it covers everything to do with healthy aging. And this is why, oh my gosh, the algorithms of like all the social media. Somebody asked me why, you should have more followers. And I don't follow any of the algorithms, because if I only did skincare, I'd probably get a lot more followers, but that's not what it takes to like live your longest, best life and looking and feeling your best at every age and every stage. So it is what you look like on the outside, because our skin is our largest organ, but it's also how are you treating your body? And that's what's going to help you. I'm telling you, you can eat stuff that makes your skin shine. What I call pretty foods, which that might be another live in and of itself. But let's go to my number 2, because I want to make sure that I get these all in. My number 2 weight loss tip is to lift weights. And I'm going to briefly explain why this is important. Especially after the age of 30, we start losing muscle mass. We start losing muscle mass. And when we lose muscle mass, fat starts infiltrating the muscle. It's called sarcopenia. And when that happens, it's really, really difficult to lose weight. So if you're over the age of 30 and you've realized that your metabolism has slowed down, which most people over the age of 30, it does. Our bodies aren't working the way that they did when they were teenagers, right? You're losing muscle mass, which makes you accumulate more fat. The fat infiltrates the muscle. It's really hard to get rid of. So if you're in your mid-30s, I would say over the age of 30, you need to add weightlifting to your exercise program. I'm not saying that cardio is not important. It is, but you have to do resistance training, weight-bearing exercises. It's great for many, many different aspects of healthy aging. But in terms of weight loss, muscles are calorie-burning machines. Just think about that. Fats aren't calorie burning machines. It takes a lot less in order to maintain fat. It's super easy. They just sit there accumulating, getting lazy, right? But muscles take a lot of effort to maintain. They take a lot of calories. So if you lift weights, you're looking at 3 to 5 days for your muscle to recover. You're creating little tiny tears. It takes a lot of time and extra calories to build that up. But if you're on a treadmill, watching a TV show or something on a treadmill, yes, it's great for your heart, but you step off the treadmill, you eat a bagel, you just put all those calories back on. And the time that your metabolism is lifted post cardio is like I want to say 3 hours. But when you lift weights, you're looking at 3 to 5 days. So the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you can consume. It takes more calories to maintain them. Lucy says, and muscles burn more calories, so the more muscle we have. That's took the word right out of my mouth, Lucy. That's exactly right. Calories, our muscles are super, super important, and they end up just burning all the calories. So if you add weight training to your exercise routine, don't look at the scale in terms of how much you weigh, but you look at how your genes fit. And that's what it's about, right? Because the composition of everybody is different. Some people have bigger bones, some people have bigger frames. It's not about how much you weigh. It's about how do you feel good in your clothes. What's the optimal weight for you? We are not all made out of cookie cutters. We're not supposed to be the same size. People are supposed to, genetically, people have a higher fat concentration than others. But, and if you work out in a certain way, like lifting weights, your composition can change and it becomes like a calorie burning machine. Okay, number 3, eat a real food diet. So what do I mean by real food? This is going to sound kind of bad, but if you can pluck it or kill it or pick it, that's a real food. It's a single ingredient food, right? It's not something that comes in a box or a bag or that has preservatives. So if you can, the majority of your food, if your majority of your food is real food that's a real food, right? This is real food. It's a single ingredient. And it's not that you can't have other foods, but the majority of your food has to be real food. I also did a YouTube video on, Lucy saying fiber. Lucy, you are on this because that's like my number 5. Right now we're on number 3. So yes, a real food diet. Understand what real food is. And stuff can be processed. Peanut butter, it's not a peanut. You're doing something to it. But when you look at the ingredients, guess what you want to look for? Only peanuts. Maybe a little salt, but only peanuts. When we get done with this live, if you have peanut butter in your house, go look at your peanut butter and turn it over, look at the ingredients. If it's not 100% peanuts, I bet you there's palm oil, there's a bunch of different fillers in there, there's a stabilizer, there's a bunch of stuff. You gotta read the ingredients and look for single ingredient products. Those are real food. So a chicken breast, right? Not a chicken pot pie in the freezer section, a chicken breast. An orange, an apple, a stalk of celery with real peanut butter on it that only has peanuts in it. Real food diet. I did a YouTube video on it. Make sure you check it out. For those of you just joining, if you want to be in the drawing, make sure you do the first task of that. Sorry, brain's a little foggy. And that is to invite 3 people, and you do it right there with that. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the little paper airplane, the send button. Click on that. It won't take you off this page. Invite 3 people, and I can see when you do it, that's the first task of being in the drawing. And then when I post this to my feed, which will be 10 minutes after this, tag 3 more people. So Romanian girl said, I make sure my peanut butter is organic too. That's on my list too. Okay, so number 4. Yeah, you guys are on top of this. Number 4 is to drink a full glass of water before each meal. So we often mistake hunger for thirst. It's really weird the way that our thirst receptors work in the brain. And we can think oh, gosh, I'm hungry. I'm moody. I don't feel right. I've got a little brain fog. I'm tired. And when all of that happens, we reach for processed, high sugar foods. If you just drink a full glass of water before, you'll figure, your body will tell you, am I really hungry for that? Am I really craving that? And a way to fight some of these cravings is if you have a salt craving, squeeze a half of a grapefruit in a glass of water and drink the whole thing. If you still have the craving after that, fine. But at least you've gotten in the water and you've gotten a little taste of something that's good for your body, and the grapefruit kind of cuts that craving for salt. If you have a craving for sugar, instead of reaching for the Oreos, You can have like a piece of fruit, a pear, something that's super, super sweet. Like I always go for a pear if I'm craving something sweet, because you've got the fiber in there. It gives you the sweetness, which goes back to the fiber that we talked about, which gives you the sweetness. But after you've eaten the pear, if you still want to grab that Snickers bar, but if you do, then go ahead, because you've got this real food in your stomach that is going to end up not having you eat as much junk food. So we're crowding out the bad stuff. So drinking the full glass of water is super important. And I did a video on how much water you need each day. So everybody's different. If the more muscle mass you have, the more water that you need. The larger you are, the more water you need. The more exercise you do, the more water you need. So make sure you check out that YouTube video on, I think it's how much water you need each day, or it's on water, but you'll see it on my channel. Okay, the next is a fiber-rich diet. So fiber is our friend. I forgot who said that, but fiber is our friend, and it makes a giant difference. And today's giveaway, for those of you who just joined, make sure you invite your 3 people. So you press that little send button. They say your body weight in ounces in half. Is that right? That's the standard. It's no longer 8 ounces a day, but to take your body weight and cut it in half, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. But it does change with if you lift weights. It does change if you are somebody who exercises a lot. So that's the minimum, but I have all that information in that YouTube video, so make sure that you check out that YouTube video on Live Young Lifestyle, and it gives you all of those kind of ways to not only figure out how much water you need, but to detect when your body is craving water, but it's actually telling you something else. So it kind of cuts through that noise that happens, and we want to just reach for something that's sweet or some sort of carb, but it's actually water that we need. So there's a lot of information in that video, so make sure you check that out. Okay, next one is to de-stress. I'm gonna take a little drink of water now that we're saying this. So Lisa says, our foods can contain a lot of water, tomatoes, cucumbers, melon. Yes, they can, but that still should not, Lucy, take the place of actually drinking water. So yes, we don't want to try to think like, oh, that soda we just drank as well has water. There's a lot of foods that do contain a lot of water, but we still want to add in the water, especially before you eat. So we want a fiber-rich diet before we eat, and we want to make sure that we have a lot of water before we eat, because it's taking that space in our stomach so that we can tell when we're full a little bit faster. Have you ever overeaten and you're hungry, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where you're like, whoa, I'm super full and I ate way too much? The interesting thing is the receptors in our stomach that tell our brain we've eaten too much are on a delay, which kind of sucks. That's why we're supposed to eat slowly. That's why we're supposed to drink water first. That's why we always start with a salad. We want to start with the fiber-rich foods first. If you've got a plate of food and you've got a salad and you've got carbs and you've got meat or you've got whatever, you want to start with the highest fiber first. And the reason is because the fiber is going to mitigate the way the rest of the meal hits your bloodstream. And the slower we can have that food hit your bloodstream, the less likely it is to be stored as fat. I'm going to say that again. So if you take fiber first, whether it's a fiber pill, which is going to be our giveaway for today, these are my brand, these are a fiber lean. If you take 2 of these before you eat with a large glass of water, you're going to eat a lot less. But not only that, it's going to slow down the way that sugar, because everything gets converted into sugar, hits your bloodstream. And by slowing the way the sugar hits the bloodstream, you have a less likely chance that it's going to be stored as fat. And I'll give you an example of that. Let's take an orange versus orange juice. Okay, if you have a cup of orange juice, and let's say your cup of orange juice is 100 calories. The way that orange juice hits it's just too much sugar. and it just, your pancreas, everything is figuring out, like, what do I do with all of this? It gets stored as fat. So you don't have to eat fat to get stored as fat. Excess calories or calories that go into your system too quickly get stored as fat. Let's say 300 calories of orange juice and 300 calories of oranges. The orange juice is going to be stored as fat, where the orange itself, because of the fiber in it, is going to take a lot less time to digest. The slower we can digest something because of the fiber, the more our body is working, the higher our metabolism is, and it's a weight loss tip. Fiber is our friend, folks. Fiber is our friend, and we have to think about that. So start your meal with the highest on your plate. Start your meal with the highest fiber, so that it slows down everything else that you're consuming. And if that means you're reaching for a snack, a high sugar, high carb snack, have the water, have a couple fiber pills, eat an apple first. Then if you're still craving that, don't deprive yourself. This is not something where I'm saying you guys can never have your Reese's peanut butter cups or your Doritos or whatever it is your thing. Still have it. I'm not saying you can't have that. We got to live, right? You guys saw my cheesecake post during Thanksgiving. I eat pie, I eat cake, I eat all of those things, but I eat them strategically, and I eat them with a lot of fiber. If you stumble and fall and find yourself face first in a bag of Doritos without having the fiber first, the number one thing that you can do to mitigate the way that hits your bloodstream, because it's all going to turn to sugar, eat a salad right away. Eat an apple right away. Eat something right away. So people often think, oh, I just messed up. I have this junk food. I just ate this whole thing of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And people think, oh, I'm going to take it off. I'm not going to eat, I'm going to stay away. I'm just going to not consume a lot of calories. I really kind of messed up. Wrong. The best thing you can do for your body is immediately eat something that's a real food that has a lot of fiber, because you want to slow down the way that hits your bloodstream. Does that make sense, everybody? I hope it does. If you're just joining me, hi, everybody, make sure that if you want to be in the drawing for the fiber pills, and I'll probably throw in another product of mine. I don't really pitch my products too much, because marketing these on social media is ridiculous, because it's a supplement. It's hard to market supplements, but this is a really amazing item. This is my Fiber Lean. And oftentimes I'll take a couple of these before a big meal, or if I know I'm going to a friend's house and it's not really the food that I normally would consume, I'll take a couple of these, and it will slow down whatever processed food is hitting my bloodstream. So this is up for giveaways, and I'll probably throw in a couple other products as well. So make sure that you invite your 3 people now, and then when I post this to my feed, you tag 3 more people, your name will go into the drawing. This week's giveaway winner was Sophia Spolino, who's getting that grounding mat. So I'm so happy for her. She's struggling with some health issues, and so this is really gonna help. Okay, so the number 6 was to de-stress, and my favorite way of doing that was through the grounding. So Sophia, you're gonna love that grounding mat, and I hope that really helps. I did a whole video on grounding as well, so make sure you check out that YouTube video. Okay, somebody says, what about taking digestive enzymes after big meals? I mean, yes, okay, sure, why not? But is that really how our bodies are designed? Are we supposed to eat big meals and then try to digest them afterwards? I think that in being strategic in what we put into our bodies and understanding that, we're going to get most of everything we need from real whole foods, and going that time of deprivation to let our fat cells become our energy. That's your body in a state of ketosis, right? Eating extra things to make that happen. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not my first choice. So that's what I would say about that. So hi, everybody who's coming. Somebody says, I struggle with IBS and fiber makes it worse. Is there any alternative? Fiber in terms of real food, Romanian Girl 10, or fiber in terms of fiber pills? So I'll let you get back to me on that. So number 7 is sleep. I know this seems like it's crazy to think like sleep affects your weight, but it does. Because if you're sleep deprived, you're making really bad choices in food. That's what all the science says. The research says that for people that are sleep deprived, your cortisol levels go up, right? That diurnal clock is kind of messed up. And you're walking around kind of in a zombie state. You're grabbing caffeine with high sugar, substitutes in there, and milk, and all of that, which the lattes they're making these days are like for a giant. I don't understand it. But it's basically sleep. If you sleep more, you're going to weigh a little bit less. And I don't mean sleep 12 hours, but get in that 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and you'll see that you're feeling better. So you have more energy to work out. Your brain is a little bit clearer. You don't have that brain fog, so that you're making better choices. So sleep is super, super important. Romanian Girl 10 said both. So, that's, you know what? Can you DM me and let's talk about this, because I want to get to the bottom of why fiber is not your friend, because for most people it is. I understand IBS. Fiber makes it worse, but there's also a lot of research that says fiber makes all of those digestive issues like IBS and diverticulitis a lot better. So I think there might be something else going on there, Romanian Girl 10. Direct message me and let me help you out there, okay? I want to see who else. This is Ladybug. Hi, Ladybug. I'm a nurse and I work every Sunday. I always miss your live videos and I watch them Sunday nights. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you're here. Tag your 3 people so that you can be in the drawing. So not tag them, but invite them. It's that little arrow right there. You'll be in the drawing for the Fiber Lean pills. Romanian Girl, if you win, I'll give you something else. Okay, I'll grab something out of my skincare closet and send that to you. So direct message me and we'll get to the bottom of why fiber is not your friend in particular. Again, all of our bodies are made differently, which is amazing. We're not all supposed to be the same size, right? We're not all supposed to have the same body composition. But for most people, fiber is our friend, and it will give you a healthy weight, which leads to healthy aging. So expanding that health span and really getting our bodies to work the way that they're supposed to work. Okay, so we just talked about sleep. The next is eating organic. I know it seems weird that if you're eating non-organic food that it's going to put weight on you, but the pesticides in food are just, it's insane what we're putting in our foods these days. So if you're eating organic, you're not having those chemicals in your foods. And those chemicals, the pesticides, the Roundup, all of that stuff adds to inflammation in your body. And it becomes like this downward negative, physical stuff that happens to us that ends up having us hold on to weight. So there's a good way to tell if something is organic. If you look at like the little sticker, sometimes in the grocery store, and the reason why I'm telling you this is sometimes in the grocery store, they put there's a mix up of when it's organic and when it's not. And so, they don't always keep it separate, but if you look at the little sticker on food, you see this 9 in front of it, that means it's organic. So if you think about this, if it starts with a 9, it's fine. If it starts with a 9, it's fine. That means it's organic. If it starts with a 4, and I don't have anything with a code on it that starts with a 4, but you'll see a PL4, that is not organic. So you need to really look at those labels. But if it starts with a 4, I don't say don't eat it, because there's some vegetables and fruits that it doesn't matter if they're organic, it won't get into the flesh. Avocados are one of them. So you don't have to buy organic avocados. If it starts with a 4, explore more. So if it starts with a 9, it's fine, that's organic. If it starts with a 4, explore more. And the way to find that list, which I might do a live about that, but the way to find the list that tells you what foods are safe to eat that are non-organic is to go to EWG.org, that's the Environmental Working Group.org, and get their list of Clean 15. And those are the 15 fruits and vegetables that they can be sprayed with whatever, but it's not going to get into the actual meat of stuff. So even things like melons, you would think, oh, it doesn't matter if a melon is organic or not. It does, because the root system takes up those pesticides into the flesh of the fruit. So EWG.org will set you in the right space in terms of what you can buy non-organically, and I suggest everything else buy organic, because it will help you to not only live longer and in a healthier way and protect your brain, amongst other things, and cancers and things like that, but it does cause inflammation. All those pesticides cause inflammation. And by making sure that we're eating things without pesticides, you're going to end up having a more healthy weight. Hope that helps. Okay, so next is, if you're over the age of 30, you got to check your hormones, because our hormones start changing mid-30s. And so when we're looking at weight loss, when our hormones start dropping, and I want to do a full live, I'm going to ask you guys your opinion on this, but there's so many women out there who don't realize they're perimenopausal, and they are. And they're in their mid-30s like, hey, why am I gaining weight? Like, what's going on with me? Check your hormones. I would say in your mid-30s, you need a full thyroid panel, because thyroid is an underdiagnosed condition, and it is in charge of all of your metabolic processes. It's that master gland, and there's a lot of misdiagnosis of hypothyroidism. I'm actually hypothyroid, and I'm super healthy, but it's genetically, this is something that I've struggled with, and I tried to eat my way into a better thyroid, which worked for a little bit, and then I got into my 40s and it stopped working for me. And so I'm on a tiny, tiny dose of a natural thyroid. It's genetic. So the doctor finally said, Darnell, there's only so much you can do with foods, but this is a genetic condition. So it does cause, hypothyroidism does cause weight gain. So if you cannot lose, you know that this isn't really how I'm supposed to feel. I know that this is not my perfect body weight, but you're doing everything that you can in a healthy way to get down to your fighting weight, the weight that you feel the best. And you really kind of then at that point, you need to go to the doctor, get all your hormones checked, progesterone dips, testosterone dips, which will, women have testosterone. We have testosterone, we have progesterone, estrogen, DHEA, thyroid, all of those things need to be checked. Somebody just said, I'm in my mid-30s. Yeah, so you're in your mid-30s. So if you think that your hormones in your mid-30s have not started that change, they have. They have. And if not, you go in and they could say, nope, you haven't started that change yet. Your estrogen levels still kind of look the same. Mid-30s, I bet you haven't had your estrogen levels checked or your hormone levels checked. And so that's a good time to get a baseline. Get a baseline so that when you hit 40, when you hit 37, 35, and 38, then you can see, oh, now they're starting to drop. Perimenopause is that drop in hormones. It doesn't mean that you're already having hot flashes, but it's that you're at that decline in hormones, and the minute that happens, your metabolism starts changing. So my suggestion is, and I'm going to do a whole live on hormone replacement therapy, because I did a video with Dr. Nina, and hormone replacement therapy has gotten such a bad rap by male doctors in the 1970s who took like these postmenopausal women and put them on synthetic hormones, and they develop breast cancer. And that is just not, that is an old school way of thinking. What they've come up with these days really is bioidentical hormones that help protect our heart and our brain and our bones. Because when we hit menopause, which I'm in menopause, I'm almost 55 years old. So when we hit menopause, with that decline in estrogen, what happens is we increase our risk of Alzheimer's and dementia. We increase our risk of heart attacks. After menopause, heart attacks I think they're the number 2 killer of women, is heart attacks after menopause. So And also your bone density goes down. So osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, dementia, heart attacks, cardiovascular disease, these are things that our hormones will help protect us. So thanks for the advice. I'm so glad you guys are liking this. Make sure that you invite your 3 people, because I do want to share this information with as many people as I can. I really think that, women should stick together. And I feel that there are so many people, so many of my clients, when I first get a hold of them, they're not on hormone replacement therapy and they're missing a window of opportunity, because once you are in post-menopause, you can't introduce hormones. So when you're perimenopausal and when you're in menopause, which I'm in menopause at this point, that's the window that you have to introduce these hormones to keep your body working the way that it did when it was in its 20s. So that's the goal, right? It's to trick your body into working the way that it did when it was in its 20s. And your hormones are very much related to your metabolism. So make sure that you get that checked. Okay, this last one, I've saved it to the last because I'm going to get so much shit for it. But limit your alcohol or eliminate your alcohol. That's my number 10. Listen, I know a lot of people do a dry January, which is great. Did you ever notice, like, when you started that dry January, did you weigh yourself before? Did you weigh yourself after? Alcohol is a lot of calories. In fact, I wrote them all down. So there's 625 calories in a full bottle of wine. Now, not a lot of people sit down and drink a full bottle of wine, but I know a lot of people, myself included, for many, many, many years, that sat down and drank 2 glasses of wine, and a bottle is supposed to be 5 glasses, but my 2 glasses of wine was a half a bottle. And so if we're looking at, so this is not like the big gulp size, but we're looking at 2 regular glasses of wine a day. We're looking at 123 calories of wine per glass, right? So if you think about that, so if you had 2 small glasses of wine 5 days a week, you're looking at 4,920 calories a month. If you think that by eliminating or decreasing your alcohol consumption is not going to affect your weight, I want you to think about that again. 2 small glasses of wine 5 days a week is 4,920 calories a month. 4,920 calories a month. That's a lot. That's a lot of calories per month. Take that out. I mean, that's 2 days worth of eating that you're adding to your monthly thing. Now, I know that's hard. We live in an alcohol friendly, we're in an alcohol culture, basically. And every gathering and every, get together is based around alcohol. And that's okay. But if you're really wanting optimal health and you're really wanting to reduce your size, look at your alcohol consumption. That's all I'm saying. Look at your alcohol consumption. I am taking all of 2023 off. I know it was hard, but I started a little while ago, and I started really reducing, and then I started only having like 1 cocktail at a function, and then having mocktails from then on out. And it wasn't like a big step once I got to that step. So somebody says, I drink only socially 2 times a month, feeling much better and don't miss alcohol in between. That's what it is. I think it's when we start doing it at home. At least I'm doing something right. I don't drink alcohol for religious reasons. Great. And I love my cocktails and I love my wine, and I would never tell people like, oh, you can't have something that you love. But when you're talking about health, and you're talking about longevity, and you're talking about increasing that health span and getting to a healthy fighting weight, where do you feel good? You need to just look at that component and decide for yourself if that's something that you need to take away. So for all of 2023, I'm not doing anything. It started kind of in October. But now really for all of this year, I'm not consuming anything. And I'm going to tell you, I did lose about 3 pounds. So, somebody says, good for you. 4.5 years sober and just getting better. I mean, we live in a culture where it's okay, right? And not only that, but we live in a culture where if we're depressed, if we had a hard day at work, if we're mad at somebody, our thing is like, oh, I need a drink. right? I need a drink. That's like a saying. It's the saying I used to say all the time. I wonder how many bad days at work you would have if instead of I need a drink, you said I need to eat a whole stalk of celery. I'm going to eat this whole stalk of celery until I feel better. I would imagine that you would have much better days at work. And the reason is I think sometimes we talk ourselves into I'm not saying that we make it worse, but there are often times where you think that you deserve something. I deserve this cookie. I deserve this cake. I deserve this drink of alcohol because X, Y, and Z. I have this really bad day. And I'm just going to drink. And I'm going to tell you right now, that day doesn't get any better. But if you had to come home and eat like a plain romaine lettuce, and to ease your suffering, and you were all going to eat this until you felt better, you'd feel better a lot quicker, right? You just would. Somebody says I go to bed early on bad days, sleep it off. That's kind of true. If you're feeling that need, go to sleep. Go out and ground. Take a walk around the block. There is a book that helped me a lot, which was I think it was called The Easy Way to Control Your Drinking. I forgot the author, but he also did the smoking book. And I wanted to read it for clients that I have and for whatever, but it really did change the way that I saw the marketing on alcohol. And so it's just something, it's number 10. It's just something to think about. I know people are kind of touchy about this subject. So, just if you're looking to lose weight, you got to think about that. 4,920 calories a month. That's 2 days basically worth of eating that you're consuming from alcohol. So that's kind of my top 10 ways. Is there any questions? I want to tell you guys what we're doing next week. I think I'm going to do skincare again. I'm going to do melasma, dark spots, sunspots. So it'll be another no makeup, blah, blah, blah. And we'll look at all of those things. I have really improved all the sunspots on my arms. And so I have some clients now that are dealing with melasma, which is that discoloration. And so there's strategic skincare products and strategic treatments that are going to be great for that sort of treatment that people are having great results from, and the research is there, the science is there. And so that's going to be topic next week. Before I get off here, make sure that you invite your 3 people with that little send button down there. It won't take you off the site. Just click that, invite 3 people so that at least you go into the drawing for the giveaway. And the giveaway is going to be my product, which is a Live Young Fiberline, which you would take a couple of these before you eat. It fills your stomach up. It starts off with the fiber so that whatever you put on top of it, it slows down the way that food gets converted into sugar and then stored as fat. So that is the whole concept of fiber is our friend. Let me see, is there anything else? I purchased all the products you suggested for my skincare. Yes. And for those of you who go to those past lives that I've done on skincare, which I've done a lot of stuff on skincare. I try to get people in through the skincare, but then really get them with the healthy aging stuff, because skincare also comes from within. Remember, right? This is our largest organ. So no matter what you put on the outside, if you're eating if you're eating bad stuff, it's going to show in your skin. So you know how healthy you are, and the way that you're treating your body will shine through your skin. So let me just scroll here, make sure I got everybody. I'm so glad you guys came. If you have any questions, please DM me. Please DM me and we'll go from there. I do have one-on-one consultations, so I would love to work. If you guys think that you're learning something from these lives, again, share it with your friends. But if you think you're learning something from these lives, imagine if I got you one-on-one. Like that's where my joy is. I can make a big difference, not only in your skin, but how long you stay on this planet and being as functional and happy and expanding that health span. That is what brings me a lot of joy. So I see you guys. I appreciate you guys. I will see you next week at 11, and that topic is going to be melasma, dark spots, sunspots. So we'll get you guys all brightened up. All right. Have a great rest of your Sunday, you guys. All right. Bye.